Country Talk Radio. You're in to all things music.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome to Jackie's Groove. It's Friday, Monday, Friday, Wednesday. It's Monday, the 19th. Hey guys, I'm proud and I'm privileged to bring on the show today Emerging Artist number 20, an ongoing series of emerging artists that are spotlighted on Jackie's Groove. This gentleman, not only is he an amazing musician, but he's also a big fan of the show, and he's been following us since the inception. Him and his son, Dion, have been following us, and we're really, really proud. We're really, really, really excited about our Emerging Mondays because it's become one of our top draws. And with that said, I want everybody to welcome with open arms and open ears to Jackie's Groove, my good friend, Miles Vargas Jr. Miles, welcome to Jackie's Groove, brother. How are you?
JB, brother, good morning. Thank you so much. And if, with your permission, if I can just call you so endearment and affectionately, JB, brother love, that's how we refer to you here in our household.
Brother, that's what it's all about, man.
With me, Dion. My son is here. With me, Dion. He's my bass in the recording time, and I just asked him, "Hey, you want to just sit down next to me?" He said, "Yeah, I want to hear Jackie's voice."
Yeah, man.
He knows everybody else. Thank you.
It's all about. Thanks for joining us, man. I've always in Florentino and Paul, I've always been curious, who is Miles? He always says the most beautiful things about Jackie's Groove and about the network. And we finally got a chance to meet about two and a half months ago in Newport Beach at the Back Bay Bistro on a thing we had with Bunny Burnell and Kayleen Peoples. And I got to tell you, brother, it feels like you and I have known each other for years. So what I want to do is I want to start out, and I want the audience to hear more from you about the first song we started at the top of the set. Give us the genesis of that tune, and what was the motivation behind that tune?
Well, this is that tune is part of my CD, which is a EP extended play, which I don't know why they call them extended play, because there's only traditionally 5 tunes in a
right.
EP, but that is it's called Cielo Soul, and that was actually the very first tune that I wrote, in a sense. And, I was just driving like probably most other people do. And then they get these creative ideas out of the blue. Right. Something reminds them out of something. And so it was the sky was nice. And the sun was there. And I thought, maybe this is a good fit. So that's how we kind of came up with that, myself. And then I asked, my wife and I asked my son, but he's pretty much always neutral to everything, and so he just says, "Hey, if you think it rocks, you think it's cool, let's just do it and call it that and move on."
You know what's amazing about growing up, when I spoke last year to Tito Puente Jr., who's my dear friend. A lot of people don't know that Tito didn't grow up listening to Latin music, salsa, cumbia, montunos, and so on, where he was more of a, he was definitely into acid rock, Duncan, and so on. And then I was amazed to find out, as I learned more about you, that your influences were Eddie Van Halen and the such. And then I looked on even further, and 2 of my very close friends that I've known for years, first being Poncho Sanchez. I'm a Whittier-born boy. Poncho's a Norwalk-born percussionist. And also Richard Gajate Garcia, who is my dear friend for years. And then, of course, his son, Roland Gajate Garcia. I used to hold into my hands as a child. So it shows how old we're getting. Now, do you consider yourself more of a percussionist or more of a guitar player? Where do you feel more at home with? Share with us.
Here's what's happening, and I will freely share that I'm 55, and about 40 years ago, my parents, we always went to church, and so I had this opportunity to play, and I started out with the drums, and then I moved on to timbal because I always had this groove happening. So I don't really consider myself a percussionist per se, because I think that most percussionists, they say, well, we're a bongocero, conguero, we get timbal and stuff. But the rudiments of timbal is what I have. It's like in the sangre, if you know what I mean. But I basically will strap my guitar on for breakfast, lunch, and dinner pretty much every day. And as far as timbales, it's always just hearing the music in the head or whatever coming out on YouTube, and I play with it on my bed or on the desk, because I don't have adequate room to do my full setup on my timbal. So I think I've got the best of both worlds. I don't know if I really answered your question, but honestly, I guitar is me. That's where it's always at. But I will jump on my timbales and groove with anybody who wants to.
Well, it's so cool because you said earlier, before we went on the air, we're talking to Dion, and we said about the fact is, Daddy, whatever feels good to you. And it's a good part that you brought up, because a good friend of ours, of the studio, and my friend I've known for 30 plus years, Ron Powell, percussionist, who with Kenny G currently, and Dinah Ross and Miami Sound Machine, the list goes on. But years ago, we were in a drum circle at Ronnie's house in Rancho Cucamonga. And we're sitting in the studio and we're playing, and a lot of people were really nervous to be around Ronnie, to be around that kind of talent. And so the guy, one of the guys, I don't remember his name, and it's not important at this point, but he was playing tumbao, and he was kicking ass, and he was doing it right. And then he stopped during the performance, and he said to Ronnie, "Does this sound right?" And I love this response from Ron. Ron said to this percussionist, "How does it feel to you?" And the guy goes, "Well, it feels natural." Then Ronnie goes, "Then that's what you'll play. Go with your gut." Because the bottom line is, as a salsero, you don't understand this. As playing bongo, timbale, and so on, we are programmed to believe that it must be as sound as it is written. But a lot of the great players in life have grown up to add their own hook, their own flavor, their own device to the play. Do you believe that when you're playing in a salsa situation, that you have to play as it is written? Or do you believe in the theory of Ronnie that if it feels good and it's not at a place, play it? Share with me on that.
Well, my personal opinion is basically, to be quite honest with you, I think that you earn a lot of respect with how it's written. If you, and this is a two-part answer. So what happens is, if somebody lays down a rhythms chart in front of me, and they say, "We want you to play this," well, of course, that's what you're going to do. Now, if one is edged, can have the edge in there and introduce slight syncopation or dynamics or something that's not necessarily always part of the song or the rhythm or the groove.
Welcomed.
You're welcome to do that. And some people, I have worked with some people who are touchy, and they say, "No, that's not how it's happening." Well, it's not technically that's not how it's happening. It's just basically that's how it's not on paper. And so you respect that in a sense. But if in my experience, as I've played, if I see a person smile, then it's two things: either they like it, or they think, "Well, what is this cat doing? What is he really trying to do?" So you don't want to step on toes, and it's always about the feeling and the groove. And like I said, in my personal opinion is when I see the audience, whether it be two people, JB, or whether it be 10,000, it really doesn't matter. If you can see them smile, then you've done something. You've done something to touch their soul. You've sent the message out. You know, well, that's my take.
Let me ask you this question with regards to Dion, your son next to you. And how old, Dion? Are you there, right there, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here, Jimmy.
He's right here.
How old are you? How old are you?
I am 32 young.
Okay, so you're 32 years young. Daddy and me are the same age, respectively, within a couple of years. What have you taught your father? And I'll say this, and I'm being serious. What have you taught your father? What has your father learned from you? Have you taken what he's taught you over the years and added your own millennial vibe to it? Or are you old school? Are you old? Are you old, wise beyond your age, as they say?
I don't think I've taught him much, but from what I gather, he's taught me more, in that old school sense of going back to, if people are feeling it, if people are grooving, if it feels good, then that's all that matters. Versus now, go ahead.
We want to find out, because when we're playing live in front of anybody, in the studio, we can do what we want. We can please ourselves, and if it's not right, then we cut tape and we start again. But when you're playing in there and you're going with the mindset in the audience that, like I said, like your dad said a little while ago, it could be in front of 100 people, it could be in front of 10,000 people. It doesn't matter, because it's up to us as the musicians to gauge the audience. And even though it is written in the way of a set list, you have to be open-minded, and you have to be able to augment that, because the set list that's written, if it's not working, and if you don't have the audience in your back pocket, then you better best bet your ass that you better rearrange that situation. And as well as I do, and Miles, is that you can't be everything to everybody.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, too, once you get that groove going with that audience, then you can basically burp in the microphone. They're going to love whatever they're going to hear from that minute on. But you have to earn the respect. How do you earn the respect of your instrument? Meaning, the fact of the matter is, are you getting up there and are you just playing your instrument? Or are you, for the lack of a better word, making love to your instrument? Are you deep into what you're playing? Do you understand the background of each instrument that you play?
When I play, I always try to see how I can do it better. And when I say that I can do it better, it comes in with the satisfaction of my ear and my emotion, my feeling, to say, you know what, you practiced this tune or these tunes before you came, and now you have this idea of something else or something added, to give some color and stuff. So I respect the instrument very much, and we got this generation. You've got phenomenal talent, gifted people who do things that you didn't see a few years ago. I mean, it's just totally crazy. So I'm always in a competition with myself, not with somebody else, because
that's the way to be, man.
Because like Richie said, Richie Gajate, that we talked, and he said, he says, I take care of my health. I work out. I take it. I said, and when I groove on my instrument, I go 100%, and I'm there to basically make a difference. And so I respect the instrument to say, you have so much, you have so much that you're able to do with it if you're willing to spend the time in that relationship. How does that?
And that sounds perfect, because I'm curious to find out also, coming from a Italian Armenian family myself, growing up with Latin music behind us. I mean, that's my mom and dad always had their dance parties, and I grew up listening to Willie Colon and Fania All Stars and Celia Cruz and and the like. So that was in my system. People were blown away when they found out that I'm not Aborigua, or I'm not, from Peru, or whatever it may be, that I'm actually a gringo, from the lack of a better word, from Whittier. But I grew up in that music. So I had the Engelbert Humperdinck's, I had the Bobby Goldsboroughs, and my mom was in that set. My father passed away when I was young, when I was 8 years old. But my mom continued that love of music and such. Now, with that setup and going with the fact of the Vargas household, what were you forced to listen to? What was coming through the speakers of the Vargas household when you were growing up? And did you translate and transpose that onto your son with his informative years?
When I was a kid, in my parents' home, all they really listened to 90% of the time was gospel music. And note, it wasn't in those days, it wasn't really considered worship music. It was considered gospel because they had different, gospel grooves and forms of choirs and maybe. But that's what we listened to a lot. And so that was what was on the vinyl. Andre Crouch, Edwin Hawkins, those type of guys. But once I was able to afford my own music and my own radio and my own, I basically introduced my parents to what was jazz and we also listened to boleros, románticos, and that's basically a trio, usually a trio and voices and two guitars or three guitars with a requinto in the middle, and that's the one that drove the melody. So we listened to that, and those are the kind of songs that when you hear Luis Miguel and other guys like that, these are from the 50s and type of area. And when my son started picking up to learning how to play, I just basically influenced him in a sense to say, you play what's in your blood, whatever that might be. I said, but I always told him, and I continue to tell him, and I continue to tell myself that when you play an instrument, we play your style, play the song. Because if you have a song that's got lyrics, it's the person that's singing them, the lyrics in the song, they're trying to send you a message, whether it's blues, whether it's heavy metal, whether it's love song. So I've always told my son who plays bass and drums, and I said, play the song, as opposed to playing, chops and playing your groove and everything. Play the song. When the singer is doing the dynamics or the horn player is doing the dynamics, you complement each other. You're more of the puzzle that's color matching as opposed to just the puzzle.
I'm going to stop you right there. We're going into break right now. We're going in from segment 1 to segment 2 with my boy Miles Vargas. Miles, don't go anywhere. This is Jackie with Tony. Jackie's group, brought to you by Intertalk Media. Connect to all things music. We'll be back. We'll pick it up right after the second segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
This is Morris O'Connor, guitarist for Earth, Wind & Fire, and you listen to my good buddy Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the second segment of Jackie's Groove. My name is Jackie Bertoni, and we're brought to you by Intertalk Media. Connect to all things music. Hey guys, when you guys can't listen to our show live, do yourselves a favor and do us a favor and go on to Apple, the Apple Store, or go on to Google Play and download our easy-to-use and easy-to-navigate application. 2 words, Intertalk, first one, radio second, and take Jackie's Groove on the go with you when you can't listen live. I do want to apologize for my voice, guys. I had sinus surgery on Thursday. I've got this case of post-nasal drip right now that's unbelievable. So if I'm coughing up here, forgive me. But with that said, I'm going to welcome back to the show, second segment, Miles Vargas Jr. Miles, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué tal con Eva Pichón? Welcome back to the show. Hey, okay. Now I wanted to ask you something. We talked about on the break, and when we finished up this first segment, we talked about, songs that we were forced to listen to, for the lack of a better word. Not that our parents duct taped us to a chair and said, you have to listen to this music. And the fact is, you explained to me that when you were able to afford your own stereo, you introduced your mom and dad to what was called jazz, Latin jazz, and so on, especially in a household that you were brought up with gospel. Myself being from an Armenian-Italian family, but I was born and raised in Whittier. I mean, I grew up Mexican more than I grew up Italian-Armenian. And, I had that situation where I, was privy to the Mexican way of life, eating menudo and tripe and so on, chicharrones and the like. But the fact of the matter is, growing up in a school that I went to, Cal High in Whittier, it was more of a rock and roll school. It was, oddly enough, we used to have our Monday night summertime shows at Lucerna High School with a small group called Kansas. And the following week, we had a small group called Van Halen. And these were groups that were before they were mega stardom. And the fact is, I never got into rock and roll per se, other than Santana. I was more of I enjoyed funk. The industry knows that, and I'll say it again, from the years of 1978 through 81, I had the benefit of working with Tower of Power all those years, fresh out of high school. So you get that groove going. And so on. But I want to ask you a question. I'm real curious, because as the little I know you, and you are a brother from the other mother, for the lack of a better word, if I was to hijack your music player right now, or if you and I were to go for a long drive in the car, what am I going to listen to in your car with you? What's on your player right now as we speak?
Well, you're going to be really probably disappointed in the sense that I have nothing in my player. I YouTube everything. YouTube pretty much everything. I have nothing per set on like iTunes or my account. I will Google just names, and whatever song comes on for that person. If it was the Eagles, and I'll listen to that song. I'll listen to the songs that you've listened to, basically, and I'll listen to them over and over and over. And people can't figure out why I listen to it, but there's always something a little different or something I missed. And I'm talking musically. That's what happens to me. And I'm not too limited. My spectrum is pretty, it's wide. So, if we were to take a ride, I'd basically Google a name off my head. like Paul Jackson Jr., George Benson. And then I turn around, and maybe do some of the R&B, like Aretha Franklin, or just different Willie Colon, and I mean, when you hear that guy play trombone, I mean, he was a huge, and I could listen to that over and over and over again until basically I'm lost. Just,
and for the gavachos and gavachinas out listening right now to that, it's the white people, if you will, that listen to that. When he mentions the fact about Willie Colon, trombone, we all know the trombone, the slide trombone. When you go to chance to see Willie Colon or anything that's in salsa, it's not just a slide trombone; it's a bass trombone. It's a slide trombone. There's 4 or 5 different variations of trombone, and when it's hit, those notes are hit, it resonates your soul.
It does.
Unlike anything, it's like telling somebody what steak tastes like. If you've been eating peanut butter all your life, you have to experience it. But with that said, I'm curious to find out, the fact that you use YouTube for your music. But when you're sitting down at home and you're in that mood for listening to music, is there a vein of music that Miles does not like? And be honest.
Yeah, there is only one genre. There is only one genre, and I don't even know the names of the artists. I'll give you the name of one artist. Probably a lot of people are going to disagree or want to stop listening to what I'm saying. But for example, I don't understand things like what Jay-Z does. I don't understand musically what is happening. So I accept it in a different level and I look at it in a different way. And I've only heard a couple of his little tunes, but literally, to me, I mean, he's talking. He's not really, and this is, it might just be the tune, but the beat is so straightforward. The beat is so there's nothing happening in between, in the beginning or the end. And I saw him on television, and I'm figuring that man is a millionaire, and I don't understand.
Multi-millionaire.
I don't understand why.
It's not for us to understand, because I will tell the young millennials out there, and even the younger set, the music of today, and I'm going to go back to Dion in a second here, and I love the fact that I have the cross-section of ages here, but the fact of the matter is, there is a lot of great music out there. You have to dig deeper for it that's being played today. But I will agree with you, and this is not because I'm an old fart, as I am, but the fact is I don't understand a lot of today's music. You guys out there writing music, there's a thing called the bridge, in which is lacking on every song that I hear. Even the songs that I like, I really try to dig deep. I am too a slave to YouTube. I will hear about an artist, but I just don't want to hear the artist. That's why I love shows like The Voice. And when you're listening to the person singing, but you're not seeing them. I don't care if the person's up there singing and they weigh 400 pounds. If they've got an angelic voice, male or female, I'm going to listen to it. I'm not going to listen to somebody like Britney and Selena and Gomez and so on, just because they're good looking. They've got to bring it to light. That's why I love Kelly Clarkson. I know this sounds real infantile on my side, but the fact of the matter, if Kelly was the size that she was when she won American Idol, to the fact that she now is a bigger woman, the girl can sing her culo off, her ass off, and same with Adele, and so on and so forth. You don't have to be that triple threat, that model, to get across the music. And so when I listen to situations and when I hear bands, when I hear vocalists, I'm not going to mention any vocalists right now that I already did, that in America, we value music a lot different than that overseas. And that's why a lot of major labels are breaking artists overseas and not in America. I don't get it. Now, with that said, Dion, let's move this back to you for a second. Do you understand, or did Dad teach you about the music business, how it was in the yesteryear? Because music is not changing yearly, it's changing daily. And it becomes harder and harder for us to monetize what we're doing. We're not doing this for our health. We're doing it because we have the passion for it. But at the same time, too, we're going to keep a roof over our heads. Has that taught you the difference of the music business of today versus the music business when he was your age?
Yeah, we've gone back and forth. And what he's taught me is just to progress, regardless of your style or your genre. You know, it's just, if you're going to make something that everybody else loves, keep moving forward on it. Don't hold back. Don't fall into selling out into what's going to make you money, what's going to give you endorsements, what's going to give you this. You know, if you make something that people are going to draw into, then that's a good place to start. You know, and everything else will fall into place, and God will open up doors for you. You just got to keep on moving forward.
And I love that, because the fact of the matter is, you know, I've had the pleasure of interviewing the who's who of the business, and recently Jay King and also Brian Alexander Morgan, two of the greatest writers for groups like In Vogue I'm prying my senior moment right now, forgetting, but they are the who's who, the Ray Parker Jr.'s. You know, they all said the same situation. I asked them the question, do you understand today's music? And the fact is, the cross-section of answers have been, I don't understand today's music, but you have to be in the sense of understanding or you're out of the business. You have to roll with the punches. You know, figure out there's still 38 viable Tower records in Japan. I miss, you know, and you're old enough to know, 32 years young. You remember what it was like walking to Tower Records on Tuesday releases and actually holding a tangible CD in your hand and opening it up and seeing the liner notes. This is something I want the millennials to, if you've missed out on it, you know, go into your parents' CD collection and pull out the liner notes. They may not know who the bass player, keyboard player, etc. is, but the thing is, it does pay homage to everybody that had their hands and fingers into the recording. You know, we're not, we're not a standalone situation. It takes a village to put together an album, you know, and and I will always call them albums. Now, with that said, Dion, growing up in the music, you know, in the Latin household itself, was there music that you loved to listen to when you saw mom and dad grooving, for the lack of a better word? Now, it could be rock. Were you cracking up when dad was dancing to Running with the Devil from Van Halen? Or were you loving it when mom and dad were dancing to a bolero? Explain to us, what was that like growing up in your age and how it is nowadays? And if you have children of your own?
You can be honest. So what I love to listen to is, and mom and dad were always dancing, but what I found out earlier was he was into Stevie Ray Vaughan. And that stuff that opened up a whole new door for me. And that was like a window of like what organically it would sound like, you know? Mm-hmm. And I've always drawn to that, even to now, where, you know, it's whatever I try to find on Spotify, it's just trying to find organic stuff, trying to find the real deal, you know, the real stuff that's just giving you a story and giving you a picture, you know, and that's what I draw to. And that's always been since day one, just blues and rock. And I mean, it's just organic. Just that's all I can say, is just looking for stuff.
But that speaks volumes, because, you know, Dion and Miles, you know, growing up and listening to that style of music, I said, I think last April, in fact, I know last April, and my wife and I were watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the inductees. And I just felt compelled to write on Facebook that, and excuse my French for saying this, but I said the music or the entertainers that you're watching on TV right now as we speak on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on HBO are the age of your parents or the age of your grandparents, depending on your age. And the reason why they're still relevant today is because they're playing real fucking music, playing real fucking instruments, and playing it real fucking well. And excuse me for using the French, you know, vernacular fucking. But the bottom line is, there's a reason why, Miles, and will agree with me, and Dion, when you go to shows and you see groups like Styx, I'm name dropping, these are all my friends, Journey, and so on, and you're seeing not a House of Blues size audience, we're seeing 19, 20,000 seat arenas that are being sold out by Earth, Wind & Fire, Chicago, Tower of Power, and so on. There's a reason being, because it's real music. And I think that we're lacking real music today. Now, I don't mean backtracking. I don't mean sequenced. I'm talking about real music that has substance, music that when you leave the venue, you're leaving it with joy in your heart and you're saying, I understand now what this is all about. Back to you for a second here, Dion. When you come out, what is the last concert you went to that played older music, for the lack of a better word? Do you remember the last show that you went to?
Probably the last show was, my last show was actually in a Long Beach bar that I actually played in a high school band, and that was years ago. You know,
do your Theo Jackie a favor. Get out there, man. Borrow money from dad, and forgive me for being blatant here. Steal some money out of dad's pocket and go to a concert. Go to a major show. Go see Earth, Wind & Fire this year. Go see Chicago this year. Go see Tower of Power. Go see Santana. Go see the groups that shaped our musical background. And be amazed that these old guys on stage that are playing better now than they've ever played. 70-year-old players that make your dad and me look young, that will play your dad and me into the gutter because they're road dogs. And the fact of the matter is, and when the old meets new, I love going to these shows and I see generations of our age, then generations like Dion, and then Dion's babies. And you see 3 generations enjoying great music. Now, I'm not going to get on a political platform here, and I'm not going to talk about how Jay-Z and how Kanye West and The Weeknd and all this other shit that's out on the radio. Yeah, okay, I just said shit. Because to me, that's not music. That's just a bunch of people saying, yo, yo, yo. And that's not being racist. That's not being prejudiced. It's shit music. And I will stand firm on that. Get out there and listen to the music that shaped our lives. That was actually, that makes sense. And a lot of the new music that you dig deeper for is a direct descendant of the music that we grew up with. And again, like I said, you got to dig deeper to find it. But when you find it, the John Mayers and such, those are great players that respect the music that Dad and I grew up with. But you know what's even a thing I can't respect is the fact that we got 25 seconds left of the second segment. When we get back on the third segment, Miles, I'm going to turn this back to you because we're going to find out and we're going to talk about this 55-year-old man that's on an Emerging Monday. You don't have to be a young kid to be an emerging artist. And that's why I brought you onto the show. I want to talk about how the old and the new works together. So when we come back on the third and final segment of a 1-hour interview with Miles Vargas Jr., we're going to talk about his URLs and his social media. So with that said, guys, Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, brought to you by Intertalk Media. Connect to all things music. Segment 3, right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We're going to reel it all in. Stay tuned. Don't want to go anywhere.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on intertalkradio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, this is Michael McDonald, and you're listening to my good buddy Jackie Bertoni on Jackie's Groove.
Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome back to segment 3, the final segment of a 1-hour interview on emerging artists and emerging artist number 20, Miles Vargas Jr. You guys, and before I go into a little bit our interview, I want to thank the sponsors. They keep this crazy ship afloat. And the first and foremost, I want to thank Calvin and Lee and all the motley crew at the Pitbull Audio, which their motto is Pitbull Audio. We just want you to play it loud. And you can reach them at pitbullaudio.com for all of your electronic needs. We have many more sponsors. We're tearing it up on Intertalk Media. Can't talk about it right now. We've got a bunch of new sponsors coming on. But I will tell you right now, the fact of the matter is, if it wasn't for my team, we wouldn't be garnering the numbers that we garner. And the fact is that last month, which was Winter NAMM, that wore us out down to a nub. So we're all getting back into the swing of things. Jackie's Groove is back on. We'll be doing 3 days a week, if not more, if the the CEO has his way. And we've got a lot of situations. And speaking of the tyrant and my COO, Paul Berezetsky, you guys, we always get complimented on the bumper music that comes in and out of Jackie's Groove. And I'm proud to say that is actually us being Florentino Buenaventura on bass and drums, Paul Berezetsky on drum programming and guitar, and Jackie Bertoni on percussion, and my good friend of ours, Taraya Teregueros, who's the on-air personality for 94.7 The Wave. So we are really, really proud that we are a fully induced, company that can do it all. But when I mentioned the aforementioned person by the name of Florentino Buenaventura, when he came to be and offered the show 2 years ago, I wasn't apprehensive at all. It's something I always wanted to do. We knew it would be successful, but at what speed and what limit or height of success, we're all blown out of the water. And through that comes extra work. But I wanted to just take a break and say thank you, my team. I couldn't do it without you. I wouldn't do it without you. And with that said, Florentino, I know you're there, brother. So do me a favor. Say hi to our mutual friend, Vargas, and his son, Dion. And Miles, Dion, say hi to Florentino.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
What's up, guys?
Tino, how you doing, buddy?
Doing
good to
well,
hear
man.
your voice. Always good to hear your voice.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. I guess with all those compliments, I owe freaking Jackie now more money. Damn it.
Yeah.
You just got to talk more, man, because my post-nasal drip is killing me right now. So Florentine, take over for a while,
man.
Please.
Yeah, watch out for that Mokos on the blue microphone, man. That's not good.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's expensive. That's expensive gear. So
yeah,
you want to keep it clean.
Yeah, definitely. So, brother, hey, man, welcome. Finally, our family members on the radio network. Congratulations for all the wonderful things you've been doing for a successful NAMM. That was awesome.
Thank you. It's always nice to see you guys, and I really, like I mentioned on social media, it's you guys give the opportunity to not only named artists, of the elite of the world is how I put it. But basically, fresh new talent, regardless of age, obviously, because I'm here, right? And you're still a young man. It's only what they dream, man. It's only a dream of what people are hoping for the opportunity, and that's it. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for your friendship.
Well, hey, man, we're here to help, this next transition of the music industry find its way and find its voice. So that's a big part of why we do what we do. We recognized early on that the changes that were happening. This was when we started. What, Paul, was it 4 years ago, Paul? He's texting right now. He's I don't know. He's like multitasker guy.
I met Paul. Paul was the one he was at.
Yeah,
NAMM,
I met you at NAMM when we're.
Okay, Paul, it's good to hear your voice.
You too.
I sent you a friend request. You still haven't responded.
Oh, he called you out, Paul. He called you out.
I'm Facebook illiterate.
Yeah,
I was about to accept, and then I got sucked into looking at a picture of Michael Jackson eating Tide Pods.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's what this network does. We don't actually do radio shows. We look at silly memes that kind of have no real rhyme or reason for them.
Exactly.
So we basically we've loved what you've been doing. We love the support you've always given us, man. But more importantly, we've been able to follow you and see the music that you've been doing, and you graciously sent us a CD, and we truly appreciate that, brother. So that's continued success on doing what you're doing. I know that was your first. You mentioned that was like your first CD that you took you a while to finally get that out, but that was but that's the beauty of it. There's always no matter what age, no matter what what there is, you can always do music. We just had we've had notables that say that sometimes some of their they really don't catch their full swing until later on in life.
Oh yeah, that's definitely an experience. And if anything that comes out of this interview is America could be a better place in general for everybody. That's my belief. If some of the people that have just issues in life, challenges in life, and they make the wrong turns or something. But if there was a program or some kind of something, be it Jackie Bertoni Music, Jackie's Groove, Enter Talk Radio, but if we can get a listener base, even reached out to those people and encourage these people who are basically just wasting their life, with situations, and put an instrument in their hand and allow them to learn something, that would change their world. They wouldn't do what they would do. They wouldn't, they wouldn't put their life as harm's way with drugs and alcohol and whatever else that comes along.
Yeah, but for sure. That's what we did. That's what we did with Jackie. We put a microphone in front of his mouth and took him off the streets, man.
Everybody's safe. Everyone's safe.
No, we work with the NAMM Foundation. One of the challenges we had at NAMM was we couldn't spend as much time with a lot of the people and all our family that we wanted to. We had a booth, and we were also sequestered up in the Hilton with the NAMM Foundation to kind of help them spread the word about education to the school systems, working with from artists like Hunter Hayes, who's a kind of up and coming country star, to people that were highly focused on supervisors for school districts and a number of these types of people, and the whole focus is to help get music education back in schools, and that's what we're all about, really.
That's great.
That's why we work with NAMM so heavily, is that it's just about fostering a more beautiful music community.
Yeah, I wanna just quickly do a shout out to a few of my endorsers, Black Diamond Strings, and a reason because of what you said. They are based in Florida, and they have begun to go out to the schools, the local schools where they still, believe it or not, have music programs. That's and they go and the kids that are learning violins, violas, cellos, guitar, probably even bass, they'll donate those strings. They'll have somebody go put them on them. This is what Black Diamond Strings of Florida does. So that's impressive because, and they don't ask for anything in return. They just want to help to try to get America back to where it's civilized, basically, and give people a reason, a purpose. So a shout out to Black Diamond Strings.
Yeah.
And my other sponsors, Mackie and Bayer Dynamics, Audio Technica, and then my endorsees, Locks of Germany and River Straps from Ecuador. These just great people.
Awesome. I think we have, I don't know, Paul, if you have the calendar up for Music Gear Talk, I think we have Bayer Dynamics coming out on this week, if I'm not mistaken. It's just serendipitous, our team of people that we have that reach out to all the different manufacturers. I think serendipitously we ended up having Bayer Dynamics at some point, either this week or next week. I can't remember. I was having Paul look at it. But the shout out for that, that's going to be an interview I do with them and, kind of helping. We do this for the players. We do this for the notables. We do this for the companies. Right. We really are here. And Jackie's got, we can't really give out too much, but Jackie's been talking with a really cool company about a very revolutionary product that you'll be hearing about shortly. We can't give it up just yet, Jackie, but
don't do it. Don't do it.
We're putting the teasers out. We're putting the teasers out.
I'm just looking at the email right now. Dwight said he'll talk to you on Wednesday. I'm sure you got the same email. I haven't seen it. It's going to be huge, people. It's going to be huge around the world, and I'm proud to be part of it. So we'll talk about that later. Do extract some information out of Mr. Vargas regardless of how we can stalk him.
Mr. Miles Vargas and Dion. Hey, Dion, I've never actually talked to you, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good to hear your voice. The man behind the man, or the man in front of the man.
That's right.
How you
he's actually in front of me. He basically I ask him what I need and he tells me what to do. So how does that figure?
That's what sons are for, man, is to tell you what to do. You guys have this wonderful family of artistry. You've got ways. Obviously, we know you from social media, from Facebook. How can people stalk you, man? How can people find out more about Miles and Dion?
I was briefly telling Jackie just then, and I've been somewhat scolded, but I have a reason for kind of doing it, and maybe you folks can encourage it. I actually don't even have a website yet. And, I go through, I see websites and I see the websites of the different players and stuff. And everybody's got this roster of lists of who we play with. And I keep asking myself, well, I don't have a roster of lists at all. I said, I just know the guys, a lot of the people. And so it's kind of held me back. So I don't have a website, but I think it's time for me to do something, even if it's, and so needs to stay connected via website. I do have social media. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm under Miles Vargas on Facebook. And Instagram, it's Ismael Vargas Jr. That's my legal name. But I'm always, open to friend requests, and basically that's my social media on Facebook is primarily 90% of just that music. So I don't post political things. I don't post things about how bad America and the shootings. I see all that in the news. There's a lot of so I just try to give people a different way out and see if anything you post, and it has to do a lot with gear too. My sponsors, my endorsers, and any other players that I've become familiar with, and we become based. Again, Jackie Bertoni, Jackie Bertoni Music, Enter Talk Radio. I'm always, either doing the sharing or telling somebody about it. And I was telling Jackie earlier when I first started, hey, did you by the way see a little roster of likes on your pages? And he says, yeah. He says, well, those are my friends who, when they find out that I was going to come out there and say, oh, let's like Jackie's page. So,
well, bless you, brother.
Bless you, man, Enter Talk Radio and Jackie Bertoni Music. So there we have it, But but anybody is free to email me if they want at all under my Gmail account. It's Ismael Vargas Jr. At Gmail. They're more than welcome to email me. More than welcome to
there you have it, folks.
Whatever shoot the breeze, and That's more than welcome, man.
Well, very cool,
Perfect.
man. Well, I'm going to pass it back to Jackie because I've done
brother.
my job. You guys keep up with this awesome interview, and we'll be talking to you soon, Miles.
We'll be talking again.
All
Hey,
right,
hey, Tino.
Yeah.
And I'm going to apologize on the air. I apologize that I text you late at night sometimes.
Don't worry about it, brother.
I suddenly text. I have the habit of texting Tino. Hey, what do you think about this? And where are we going with that? And my wife the other day scolded me really quick, and she said, "Why are you bothering him at 11 o'clock at night?" I said, "No, you don't understand. He and I, we got this thing. We got this thing."
Well, it's all good, brother. In the hood,
Don't feel bad, man.
If you were the only one that did that at night, that would be no. I get them. I get it from folks from John Paris will text me at midnight, man. And from Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's like, but I've known, like you, family. I've known him for many years, and I'm a late sleeper. We're all musicians have a tendency to be late sleeper. But anyway, with that said, brother, hey man, no apology necessary. Jackie, brother, take it away.
All right, man. I just want to finish up this last. Thanks, Tino. 2 minutes. Hey, Florentino. Thank you very much, brother, and Paulie. Thank you too. Miles, Dion, I'm going to ask you a question my wife came up with. I always like to finish the interviews with this, and the response is pretty cool from across the board, from the notables all the way down to the emerging artists. And the question is, if music, and I got to speed this up, if music was not in your vocabulary, if there was no such thing as music, what would Miles and Dion be doing today?
I had a feeling you were going to ask that, and quite honestly, I'm not prepared to answer that. But I'm just going to take a stab at it. I always wanted to do something in boxing, but I'll just leave that alone because I don't have that's too good. Okay, man.
Understood.
Too far away.
Understood. But it's a good question, Dion. How about you, brother?
As for me, I really don't know. My world just revolves around music, production, recording, the arts. I don't know.
The reason why I asked that, because the last one blew me out of the water with Ray Parker Jr. When I asked him, Mr. Ghostbusters, the same question, his response was pretty floored me. He said he'd either be on the line building cars at Ford in Detroit, where he was growing up with his father, or he'd be dead.
Oh yeah,
and succumb to the everyday life on the streets, and so we have to thank our parents, those that were real parents who raised us right. And Miles, you did a damn good job on Dion. Let me tell you, brother. And what's not a good job is that this is over with, man. Our interview is over with, but our friendship will continue on. I appreciate the network appreciates all of your good vibes and all the positive situations all the way around. When the show is archived, we will send you the link to this. And please, by all means, those who didn't get a chance to listen live, I'm going to have Miles play us off right now, if you would be so kind. And guys, this is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Group, brought to you by Intertalk Media. Connect to all things music, and Mr. Miles Vargas and his son, Dion Vargas. Guys, thank you so much. Dion, Marcus, play us through.
Thank you so much.
God bless, guys.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.